I'm the Hooded Lid and welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about what's new at Sephora when it comes to perfume. If you're a regular viewer, you know that I posted on Saturday something about a coronavirus, and I promised that, well, I promised to myself that I wanted to talk about it a little bit on every video because I just don't want to pretend it's not happening. So before we get into the perfume, I want to talk about how to keep safe. I'm not doing all the tips, just one. And then every day, I'll do something. About a month ago, I went to Target to get some Purell, and they were out. I was there maybe 11 o'clock, and I asked, hey, where's your Purell? Oh, someone came and took it. The hoarding is horrifying. And the hoarding that's going on in grocery stores is no different. So last week, I went to the grocery store 5 times looking for my things. I would go in and there would be no protein at all, or I'd go in and no canned foods at all, which is still the case. No nuts at all. I eat a lot of nuts. No vegetables. It's just every time. So I had to go a lot. And the truth is, when you go to the market a lot, you are exposing yourself to a whole bunch of people you don't know, and there's no way you're 6 feet away from them. I even saw whole families, mother, father, 2 kids, roommates, couples, the whole bit. So there's probably twice as many people in the store than there needs to be. So I feel like grocery shopping is actually kind of a dangerous endeavor. So I try to make it as safe as I possibly can. While I was at Target, since I couldn't get the Purell, I thought, well, I'll just get this. This is not good for your hands. It is the disinfecting wipe. It kills 99.9% of viruses and bacteria. And it's made for, cleaning surfaces, not your hands, but it cleans. So I just take 5, I fold them up, put them in a baggie, and keep this in my car. So when I'm going grocery shopping, some stores will have sanitary wipes, but I don't know what they're made of. Who knows? So if they don't have a sanitary wipe, and lately, even if they do, I just take one of these from the car. I clean off my basket. I will oftentimes pick up what I'm going to buy with this in my hand. When I pay, it has been quiet for hours, and the minute I sit down to talk, the blower starts. But when I go to pay, I wrap this around my finger to press everything, and then I wipe off my card. Because this virus, while highly contagious, is also very vulnerable to soap and water and disinfectants. It's a very good way to protect yourself. Not perfect, but it's pretty good. All right, let's get into perfume now. New at Sephora in perfume. When you go online and you look for new, it's pretty much packaging. It's sets, it's putting things together. Half the stuff is not in fact new, but there was one thing I have been looking for since January because I wanted to include it in my February for Valentine's, and that is from Atelier. Love Osmanthus. And I finally got a sample of it. It's finally in store. And I gotta tell you something. It wasn't worth the wait. So this is what Atelier is saying about it. Osmanthus flower from China brings peach-like creaminess, while lemon from Italy adds brightness and warmth, both grounded by cedarwood. So basically it's a 3-note wonder. When I first sprayed this on, I didn't know what the notes were except Osmanthus, and I immediately kind of thought tangerine. It wasn't exactly lemon for me, and it has that shriekiness of red berries. Red berries are something I don't really love that much in my perfume because I find them to be really screechy, like, nails against a chalkboard kind of a thing, and I'm getting that here, even though it's not listed. Cedarwood, yes, quite barely. I will say that this is long-lasting, but it's not big. None of Atelier's are big, although they're called eau de toilette. They're really more like a cologne, or a splash, really. To tell you the truth, I only own 1 bottle from this line, and they don't make it anymore. But at the time that I bought it, they made the big bottles and a small bottle. I think it was 30 ml, and that's what I have. I hardly wear it, and it was the one that I liked the most out of what was available. It was when they first came out. I don't know why this line just doesn't do it for me. The California Clementine, I think it's called, I tried and tried and tried, and I got a manufacturer sample, so it was probably about 5 ml. And I'm like, oh yeah, I like it, and then that screechy note would come in. It's that same kind of thing. If you found that that one was lovely until that note came in, you're not going to like love Osmanthus. And in fact, I do not get Osmanthus from it. It's not bad, it's just not something I'm going to buy. I don't think it's very interesting. I really had higher hopes for this one. So, Atelier, love Osmanthus. They're saying it's just 3 notes. I can't say it's really lemony, but it is a sharp citrus. It does stay citrus for a long time, and citrus generally doesn't. So it makes me think it's something else that makes you think it's citrus. I can say if you really like lemon, and I do like lemon, probably my favorite rendition of lemon is in Gypsy Water by Briedo. And it's such an interesting scent. There is absolutely a lemon in there, but there's also a little bit of incense and a little bit of sweetness, almost like just a little bit. Don't get excited. Kind of like a lemon meringue pie. Not hugely sweet like a lemon meringue pie, but cut the sugar by 3/4, and it kind of has that. My only issue with that is it turns. I had to throw away my bottle, and it's not strong enough, so it's just a whisper. If you are someone who that sounds good for, you just want a little whisper of something in the lemon area, it's probably not too different in price, and I think is more interesting. So there's my thoughts on that one. Next, we have Tom Ford Rose Prick. Now the bottle is beautiful, and you know, if I had $355 to spend just on a bottle, I'd do it. As far as the perfume goes, I sprayed it, and immediately I was hit with a traditional boring rose. And I thought, oh no, really? Here's my deal with Tom Ford. I have tried many of their perfumes. When I first discovered them, I thought, wow, interesting. And then I got a lot of samples, because they used to, at Nordstrom's anyway, not Nordstrom's, at Neiman Marcus, they used to have manufacturer samples, and I got quite a bit. And I found that they were, while interesting, they were pretty one note. They didn't really develop too much, in my view. A lot of them are unisex without a problem. In fact, maybe more male-oriented in the fact that I don't find them to be a traditional 3-tier story. It's not, you know, opening, middle, and base. It's kind of opening and base. It's missing the story for me. And I find a lot of men's colognes do, so they're kind of structured like that, in my opinion. So I've never bought a Tom Ford. I also really have a problem spending that much money on perfume. There's just too much available to do that, unless something just hits you as being so stunning, irreplaceable, you have to have it, and you don't have a lot of perfume anyway, maybe? Going back to this one, Love Prick. Soon after that rose, that old-fashioned Soliflor rose went away, and it didn't take long, 2 minutes. It started to smell familiar. I'm like, what is going on here? I'm getting a little patchouli. And then I thought, this is kind of a rose chypre. This is kind of promising. And I knew it reminded me of something that I have had before. And I knew I'd, you know, make myself nuts trying to remember what it was. And sure enough, a couple of hours later, it struck me what it reminds me of, and that is L'Artisan Velours de Rose. It is still in production, and it's very, 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 very similar. It is, however, about 10 times stronger. So if you like this one, but you want something with a punch, you might want to turn to that one. I do find, like the rest of his scents that I have tried, they just don't tell a story. They don't evolve. It just goes from opening to base, and it kind of stays there. It is long lasting, and it's not invasive. It's not something that's going to clear the room, but it's just not all that interesting to me. Let me tell you what they have to say about it. Tom Ford Rose Prick is called a warm floral. They say Bulgarian rose, Indonesia patchouli, and Tulu balsam. Rose Prick is a wild bouquet of beautiful rose breeds, Rose de Mai, Turkish and Bulgarian rose, sharp and pristine. The piercing prickles of the stems hook onto each other, bonding their blossoms in pink perfection. A rose by any other name wouldn't be Tom Ford. I really hate that kind of marketing, but we'll get past it. So let me tell you a little bit about L'Artisan's Velours de Rose. I used to have a bottle, and you know how it is when you pick up a bottle by the lid and the lid's not completely there, and the bottle falls and breaks in the bathroom, and your bathroom smells for a week. So I don't have it anymore, but my goodness, it is strong. All right, glasses. This is my Perfumes, the guide. If you're into perfume, you kind of need to have this. I have notes all over this, things that I've tried, things that I like, things that I don't like. But let me read you what Luca Turin has to say. Now this is written by Luca Turin and Tanya Sanchez. The reviews they don't share, and you can kind of tell who wrote what by what they're saying. Velour de Rose, 2 stars, rose patchouli. I've always had a soft spot for guys wearing roses, so I think Tanya might have written this. It's an English dandy flair. Velour de Roses is mostly rich, grassy patchouli with a wine-like angle, colored with an equally wine-like dark fruity rose. Curiously, it reminds me of the smell of Strawberry Shortcake Doll from 2nd grade. That is curious. Sadly, it thins out to merely camphorous patchouli after the fun boozy start. Okay, so she doesn't like it. I do find it to be very, very similar to the Tom Ford, and most importantly, half the price. So if the Tom Ford's interesting to you, you want something a little stronger, you might want to look to the L'Artisan. Now, Rose and Patchouli is an older and a newer rendition of a Rose Chypre. Chypres generally have oak moss in them, but oak moss is no longer available for perfumers. It's banned. You can't use oak moss because it was determined that some people are allergic to it and they're not smart enough to not wear perfume that has oak moss in it, so Chypres kind of died. And Chypres went out of style also because it does have what people so rudely call old lady scent to them. I happen to love Chypres, not all Chypres, just like I don't love all of anything. There's nothing where I say, if this has jasmine in it, I love it, for instance. Every perfume is its own personality, but I do like a Chypre, and I do love oak moss. This is what you use instead of oak moss. In current day, they call them pink Chypres, where the oak moss is replaced with patchouli, but it's not a new thing. Rose and patchouli have gone hand in hand for decades. So, another one that you might want to consider at a far better price. It is far more interesting, but it does have a big personality. It is invasive. It does enter the room before you unless you are very judicious with it. And it might smell a little bit retro. Even when it came out, it had a slightly hippy-dippy thing going on. But that is Clinique's Aromatics Elixir. Let me tell you a little about it. Now, the light just changed. Swaweed. Aromatics Elixir. Now that we don't have any light, I cannot see. So I'm going to have to do a double duty here. Oh, I can't see that either. Aromatics Elixir by Clinique is considered a woody floral. I think woody floral / Rose Chypre. Smelling Aromatics Elixir on a strip, and especially in the air following the string of modern fragrances, is like watching Lauren Bacall in The Big Sleep after 12 episodes of Cheers. Okay, I'm pretty sure Luca wrote this. The thing fills the room with such a confident presence that it is hard to countenance the fact that Bernard Chant, who's the perfumer, was using the same fragrance materials as everyone else. In his hands, everything became larger and lighter than life. His trademark structure of a bold, herbaceous patchouli floral accord buttressed by a churrasco of dozens of related balsamic notes produced very sultry, grown-up fragrance, see cabochard and cinnabar. It works even better when done in a bright, fresh, herbaceous, almost medicinal manner of Aromatics Elixir. Aromatics Elixir achieves at once, I can't pronounce this, salubrious radiance and luxurious dusk. A balancing set, to my knowledge, only attained since Patou's Sublime. A masterpiece. I'm really sorry to say before the camera cut off. If the light is bad and it's going in and out, reading with these doesn't even help. And reading with this is too much. The fun of getting older, although I've been blinded as about my entire life. Again, if you like perfume, you kind of need to have this. I don't use it very much anymore, but when I first got this for like a year, sometimes it was bedtime reading. Those are my two suggestions if you don't want to spend $355, if, like me, you don't find Rose Prick to be interesting. If you want something a little more personality, a little bit stronger, then the L'Artisan or the Clinique are a really good way to go at better prices. But there's nothing wrong with Love Prick. It's just, for me, it's not that interesting. It's perfectly nice. It's perfectly nice. But if I'm going to spend that kind of money, I want it to be more than perfectly nice. I want it to be, oh my God, are you kidding? And I'm not getting that. So let me just spray some on. It's really nice. It's just, not incredibly engaging for me. And that's going to wrap it up for What's New at Sephora under the scent category. And I will be continuing on with my spring fragrances. It's just that it's been cold and raining for weeks and weeks and weeks, and I just didn't want to test anything from spring. I've already started, I've already grouped it together, but I wanted to do, you know, like my Chergui and my woodier things, and when it's cool, I want to wear those because it's not that cool in Los Angeles very often, and I embrace it. I go for it. And this is beginning to warm up. It is nice. It is. I think you can buy samples online in some places. So if it's something that's interesting to you, if you have the time and interest and money to do something with perfume right now, if you are also stay at home, this might be a good time to buy yourself some samples and test things and make notes and decide, so that when it's all over, you might buy yourself a gift of a new bottle of perfume, kind of for the end of stay at home. I really like that idea. And that's going to wrap it up for me. Thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me. I hope it was helpful to you. And I hope you come again. Again, thanks for being here. Have a fantastic day. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you next time. Bye.